Good morning, everybody. It is Monday morning manna time. Say it with me, Monday morning manna time. I am Bishop Timmons. I'm here to help you get started off to a brand new week. This is the day the Lord has made, and we shall rejoice and be glad in it. I'm ecstatic that God has given me and you another week. I know we started yesterday on Sunday, but this is the first day of the work week for a lot of people. I know some went to work yesterday, but this is Monday morning manna, and I just want to give you some beginning of the week encouragement to get you started on your day. And I'm encouraged this morning, and I hope you are. I have some success nuggets for you today. So you know what you need to do. We only have just a few minutes. It's a short one today, but I need you to get your mama, your cousin, your friend, and them say, hey, it's Monday morning manna. You know how we do it every Monday morning at 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and you don't want to miss it. I'm giving you a little extra time to get somebody else on the line. Coming at you from Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter. I think we're on all of those today, but I just want to share with you something that will encourage you. You got about 10 more seconds, and we are going on with Monday Morning Manna. You want this. You want this. Hey, check this out. Check this out. Hey, I see you. Come on in the room. Come on. I need you to say something so I know that you're here. Say something I know that you're here, and everybody know that you're here. They'll see your name popping up. Look, I don't want to take too much of your time this morning, so I'm not going to call out your names. But check this out: the word to get you moving on this week. Hey, I had a great time enjoying the word last week. You know, it's about maximizing the moment, putting your phone down, being very present in everything that you did. Did y'all do that? I know I did it. Had those phone conversations or those conversations when I'm talking to somebody face to face. I was tempted to pick up the phone. Actually, I did it a couple of times to, because it buzzed and I had to check a message real quick. But and then I remembered I'm maximizing the moment this week, so I put the phone down, gave them my full attention. Oh, it was so good. I would start doing some work and get distracted and grab the phone or do something else or take a look at the television and get distracted. Oh, wait, no, I'm maximizing the moment. I put it down. It worked for me, and I hope you did the same thing. So now I know you've had more than enough time to come on. Today's word is keep your word. Did you hear what I said? Keep your word. I have a scripture for you, Matthew 5:37. But let your yes be yes and your no be no. It's as simple as that. Matthew 5:37. Those are the words of Christ. Let your yes be yes and your no be no. He goes on to say, you don't need to swear by anything else. He said we should have enough character and we should have a good enough reputation to that our yay is yay and our nay is nay. So the word for this week is keep your word. How in the world do we keep our word? Well, guess what? The important part of this, though, is your word is valuable. I want you to understand that your word is valuable. And in order for you to keep your word valuable, you have to keep your word. Your word can only keep its value if you keep your word. You cannot continue to just give out your word and not live up to what even you said. And keeping your word, and this is very important to me, but keeping your word shows respect. I believe in respecting other people, and I want to be respected at the same time. You tell me you're going to do something for me, with me. You tell me you're going to do something. I want you to keep your word. Don't you want God to keep his word? Don't you want your employer to keep their word? They tell you you're going to get paid on Friday. Don't you want your check? Okay, somebody telling you they're going to pick you up, give you a ride. Don't you want them to follow through on that? Those are the simple things. But guess what? Even when it comes to paying a bill, you made the bill. You made the bill, so guess what? You need to keep your word and pay it. You didn't sign that loan document saying as long as I don't hit hard times or as long as I don't find something else I want to do, I'll get your payment out. No, keep your word. Somebody put that in there for me. Keep your word, Matthew 5:37. And no matter how small your word is, no matter how minor of a thing it is, yes, I'm going to stop by at this time. Keep your word. Do everything you can to keep your word because we have to make ourselves trustworthy. You have to make yourself trustworthy, and you're not worth being trusted if you don't follow through. if you don't keep your word. The reason we can trust God is because he's not a man that he shall lie. The reason that we can trust God is he always followed through. He has kept his word. He even said, I'm going to send my son die for you, and he followed through. Jesus went to the cross, but he stopped by the garden first and said, I don't want to do it, but it's not my will. And because you gave your word, Father, I'm going to follow through on that word. And I've learned that there's less stress in my life when I keep my word. I don't have to worry about ducking and dodging. I don't have to worry about trying to come up with crazy explanations. Just keep your word. Now, before I let you off here, I want to talk about some barriers that we have to move out of the way. I want to give you a handful of barriers. That's five, a handful of barriers that keep us from keeping our word. And I'm giving you these barriers because I want you to move them. First barrier to keeping your word is overcommitment. Overcommitment. Oftentimes we overcommit to where we don't even have a chance to keep our word. Because if it's 5 minutes to five, you can't be here to 5 o'clock and be here at 5 o'clock. You can't be here. Don't tell me you're going to be here in 10 minutes and you're here 25, 30 minutes later. What those kind of things matter. And I want you to practice today in keeping your word to the letter of what you said, because sometimes you just might have to change what you say, but don't overcommit. It's important that you look at your schedule. It's important that you look at your responsibilities to see if you are saying something that is actually reasonable and realistic. I want you to not overcommit so you can keep your word. Another barrier to keeping our word is we may not value what we actually say. We tell people we're going to do, we put a word out there, but it's not even valuable to you when you say it. And then you evaluate it between what you're doing and what you said, and you prefer to go with what you're doing. So if it's not valuable, don't say it. Don't say it, because if you watch this, if you don't value your word, no one else is going to value it. And so it's important for you to value what you say. So that's a barrier when we don't value what we say. Number one was commitment. Number two is because uh, we don't value what we say. Number three is we have an unrealistic point of view. Be realistic in your promises. When you're promising and you're making commitments to others, I want you to understand that and be realistic in it. Look at what's reasonable before you open your mouth and say, this is what I'm going to do. Because I want your word to be a sure word. Yet let your yes be yes and your no be no. Put out a word that can be trusted. And then another barrier to our um, ability to keep our word is underestimating the cost of keeping your word. This is a big one, and my time is winding up, so I don't want to take a lot of time, but I have to explain this. Is sometimes we underestimate what our promise is going to cost us. So when you make that promise, know that you know what you're talking about and that you are really willing to pay the price. Because once your word is out there and you come and try to retract that word, then you're still losing the value of your word. You're no longer trustworthy. Don't change what you said because it costs more than what you thought it was going to cost. You have the responsibility when you put it out there to follow through with it. It's important to keep your word. And the fifth barrier to keeping our word is, guess what? You just couldn't do it. I tried my best. Now, I believe that one's acceptable. I did my very best, and some things happened because guess what? Things happen in life. Okay. And I did my best to keep my word, but something happened and kind of knocked me out of place, and I wasn't able to do it. But be man enough, be woman enough, be human enough, be saved enough to apologize and say, I did my best, it didn't work out. I missed it. I missed the mark. But other than that, overcome these barriers. Overcome these barriers to keep your word. And I want you to strive to do that this week. I want you to strive. I want you to strive. I want you to strive. You hear me, Frida? You hear me, Evelyn? Like, I'm not gonna call everybody's name on here. I know you want me to call names, but I'm talking to you. Keep your word and watch the difference that it makes in your life. Strive to keep your word, because guess what? When you keep your word with others, others don't have a problem with keeping their word to you. That is your Monday morning manna. I want you to have a great week. God bless you.